3 o'clock. Let's get into this Watson shoulder injury thing. For me, I think Deshaun Watson, I said it was alarming before, and let me give you why I think it's a little bit more alarming. Usually, generally speaking, when you want to get into a week like this, one of the things I thought the Cleveland Browns had an advantage of winning this football game was the simple fact that the Giants, or excuse me, I keep calling them the Giants, but the Cowboys and the 49ers were going to be playing on Sunday night. And so you hope for a game where it's a hard-fought game. Maybe they beat each other up a little bit. Maybe it's something where you come into a game and you may have a little bit of an advantage because you've got the day of preparation on them. You also have the fresh legs coming off the bye. And I think it's alarming a little bit because Mondays you're not doing nothing crazy anyway. You're not doing nothing you're not going up top on nobody. You're not doing a bunch of throwing. It's basically an install day where you're watching the tape, getting in there, getting stretched out, and just starting to put the I would say the foundation to a playbook game, the foundation to what the game plan is going to be against the 49ers. And so for me, I would want Deshaun Watson to be out there ready to go, getting back up, because there is a little bit of rust. He played very well against the Tennessee Titans. And what I would want to do is get any semblance of that type of rhythm back. Seeing it feel good, quick reads, talking to him about what he likes to see, what plays he feels good in, comfortable based upon what the 49ers looks they think they're going to give him. This is a great opportunity to put that in, right? To get them back comfortable. And so when you come out and you don't practice on the Monday, that puts me in a space where like, okay, that's a work day. That's a really big, that's an install day. They may give them Tuesday off, get back to it on Wednesday, right? Generally speaking, giving them Tuesday off, get back on Wednesday. If we get to a point where we back on that Wednesday and he's not participating, this thing is trending in the wrong direction. And what I mean by this, I'm not a doctor, but I did talk to a doctor in UCSS, and they talked about what it is and how you go about starting to rehab that thing and getting it comfortable. I got shoulder issues right now, but it's not shoulder issues based upon like any sort of bruise, any sort of contusion, any sort of hits, structural damage, none of that. I got shoulder problems because of nerve damage in my neck. And one of the things that I always consistently talk about is every injury is different. Every injury is different. Everybody recovers at a different rate. Even when Baker Mayfield was playing, when he was here in 2021, it was his opposite shoulder, right? But it affected his accuracy. It affected his willingness to step up in the pocket. It affected his will. It affected how he rolled to certain sides of the field. It affected whether the ball and your trajectory is sailing on the football. Can you drive the football in the wind? And let's not even talk about the fact that the weather's changing. Now you're going to take more time to heat and warm that thing up. And it's going to take a lot of time and energy to make sure it stays loose in between quarters, in between TV timeouts. And on top of it, the biggest thing is you're struggling up front already. I went back and it's not just Jed Wills who's struggling. It's Joe Bitonio that's struggling. Ethan Poaches is struggling. Wyatt Teller is struggling. To be truthful, the best guy and he's not playing well in the run game, but the best pass blocker you got right now is DeJuan Jones, and he's a rookie. So now think about all of the things that I talked about, compounded with the fact that you got a leaky offensive line. You got to keep more guys in, like the running backs, as well as the tight ends. As I was going and looking through the film work, all 22, there's multiple times where there's pressure still getting home up front when you're already getting a chip from the running backs and you're getting another chip from the tight ends on the other side. So that's 6 against 4. And you're still giving up inside pressures. You're still giving up quick pressures on the run game. So you mix all of those things together, mixed with the fact that Deshaun Watson has only had one really solid game where we can see some semblances of it, him being the guy who we thought he was. And you compound that with a leaky O-line, weather is going to be getting more and more progressively worse to push the ball down the field, and they want to be a run team, trust me, or excuse me, pass team. They put all their eggs in the basket of the pass game. So now you're going to be playing against a team in the 49ers that are going to put Warner putting pressure on you. Greenwood putting pressure on you. We already know what Bosa is up to. We already know what Eric Armstead is up to. We get all of that. So my thing is that leads to, how you want to get to how did the Cleveland Browns beat the 49ers? When even if Deshaun Watson does play, I believe that they got to play a specific style of football. And I also believe that there's something to be said about the playbook. And we talked about that. We'll get into that as well. Let's get into some of your comments here, because I really do believe that Watson's shoulder will be a thing the rest of the year. And it's not just this game. It's something that you're going to have to look at over and over and over and over again, because it's not going to heal, and he hasn't yet to take another hit. So we got to be looking at this for the rest of the year. And it's not saying that the Cleveland Browns can't win any football games this way, but the coaching staff and the way Kevin Stefanski calls these plays, he has to give Deshaun Watson a shot. I know we say it all the time. The bottom line, it's on the quarterback. Bottom line, if Deshaun Watson is who he is in Houston, by the way, football don't work that way. When I'm watching these other teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, when I watch the 49ers, when I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs, when I'm watching the Dolphins, I'm watching teams put together things and have complementary footballs, not just on one person. And if you think you're going to play hero ball at quarterback, the Browns don't have a roster good enough to play hero ball. They need to have a run game. They need to get something out of the return game. They need to be lights out defensively, and they got to have a game plan week to week that gives yourself an opportunity to play good ball and not turn the ball over, not be loosey-goosey, and stop running reverses with Elijah Moore calling out a new playbook. It's not.